For a long time, President Muhammadu Buhari stayed away from the campaign trail of his political party, the All Progressives Congress, and its presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu. But now, the president appears to be heart and soul into the Tinubu campaign. Just yesterday in Damaturu, Yobe State, he told a rally that Tinubu's ascension to the presidency will sound the final death knell on insecurity in the northeastern part of Nigeria. Felix Morka is National Publicity Secretary of All Progressives Congress, and he joins us now to look at how Buhari campaign for Tinubu could turn the tide with the party's candidate in the 2023 presidential election. Good to have you. Now, President Buhari's campaign for Bola Tinubu, how impactful on the choice for the electorate towards the general election, do you think?
Well, President Buhari is not just the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he's the leader of the All Progressives Congress. Now, from the flag off of the campaign in Jos, the president has been with the party and with the candidate, not just the presidential candidate, but with all the candidates of the party. He has very eloquently declared his support for all of the candidates of the party, including our presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. I know there's been a lot of side talk and a lot of distraction by the opposition, who have recently come out with all kinds of speculations and try to fire up conversations about the president's absence on the campaign trail. Look, yes, we have an election coming up next month, but the president is still the president and is still saddled with constitutional responsibilities of his office, which he takes very seriously. But as his schedule permits, this president has made it clear that he will join the campaign train and actually speak to the electorate and to Nigerians and give them even more reasons why our candidate, Bola Tinubu, is more than capable and actually probably the best amongst those who are competing for that office. And that's what he spoke to very eloquently just in the last couple of days that has been on the trail with us.
Now, a couple of days ago, the president was in Adamawa State, the home state of the presidential candidate of the PDP. How would you describe the reception? Would you say the president's presence will be able to influence voters towards your party positively?
Oh, certainly. Mr. President is a very popular president, not just in the north of the country, but also across the country. He has done an amazing job as president. Really began the effort to rebuild not just the infrastructure of this country, but also the software, if you will, of our country. I mean, we're all preparing for elections next month, but this president, I think we must give him credit for all of the massive reforms he's made of the Electoral Act. That's put INEC and all of the other agencies that are managing our electoral process in good stead to, again, show competence and show fairness and show a lot of, peace during our upcoming election. So his presence in Adamawa and, on the campaign trail was electric. I'm sure you saw the massive crowd of people who came out to welcome him and our candidate. But the crowd is what you've seen everywhere. I mean, from Kano to Benin to Akure to Yobe to Adamawa. It's been massive, completely unprecedented. And I think that anyone who is in any doubt that we are serious about persuading Nigerians, I think that these outings, these past few days, I think make that case an open and short one for the presidency of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
Mr. Morka, you talk about the power of persuasion here regarding crowds. What's APC doing to ensure the crowds at your rallies actually translate into votes for the party during the elections? We've also seen massive crowds in rallies for the PDP and, of course, the LP as well. So, it's one thing to have a crowd, but does that actually translate into, voting by the electorate, you think, on a wider scale?
Well, before I come to the core of your question, I think that the crowds you see at our rallies is incomparable to what you see with the opposition parties. I mean, I don't think that any one of them has pulled off anything that resembles the crowd you see. Yes, a crowd is more than one person is a crowd, perhaps, depending on how you define it. But I am talking about the kind of massive human beings, Nigerians who have turned out and who continue to turn out for our rallies. But having said that, look, our campaign strategy is not exclusive or restricted to the big rallies we conduct. As I'm sure you know, even in between the rallies, our candidate was here in Abuja, attending a youth rally, and has also met with some business, private sector people, in Lagos. And more importantly, our job and the work we're doing is concentrated at the unit, at the ward, at the local government, at the state levels, across the country. So it's not just the big rallies. We are working hard. Our party men and women are busy at the unit levels, at the ward levels, working hard. I mean, this weekend, I'm spending all my weekend in my own constituency in Delta to help our people who are already hard at work to even, up the energy amongst our people and give them many more reasons why they should vote our candidates across the board. Not just our presidential candidate, but also those who are running for the National Assembly, for the state, governorship election, and of course the State House of Assembly. So our package and our strategy is absolutely comprehensive, and we are taking no chances. We're going out there to convince the last voter and give them a reason why they should support us, in the next election that's upcoming.
Now, Mr. Morka, I'm sure you know that Nigerians are divided over the performance of this present administration, with some saying that the president and indeed the APC have failed to deliver on their campaign promises. For instance, let's take the issue of security. Recently, INEC warned that the forthcoming polls face threats of cancellation if the level of insecurity across the country continues to rise. So how do you think this perception of the present government, how do you think it will rub off on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's chances at the polls?
To be clear, this President APC government of President Muhammadu Buhari has done an incredible amount of work, on national security and across the board, whether it's infrastructure or the economy itself, given the peculiar local and international contexts that our country is a necessary member of. Now, having said that, I think that the statement by a commissioner of INEC that's expressing concern about some of the violent acts that's, again, threaten the facilities of INEC and, in some sections of the country. Of course, that is concerning, but I don't think that INEC as a commission has come out to suggest that they are, unable to conduct next month's election for whatever reason, whether on account of security or other reasons. They haven't said so. This was, somebody, a commissioner who was, I think, giving a talk at a training session that made the remark. Of course, the concern is shared concern by everyone. I mean, no one is happy with, some of the acts of violence by some villains who are attacking and targeting, electoral infrastructure. That's, looking to again create this sort of specter of, concern and worry. But I think that Mr. President has made it clear that one of the legacies he intends to leave as president is to deliver, a free, fair, peaceful, and credible election next month. He has said so, and I am not in any doubt. I have absolute confidence that Mr. President, working with his team and the cabinet and all of the security agencies, will ensure that the environment is peaceful for us to actually do the elections. I don't think there's anyone in APC, or quite frankly, I would even be as generous as suggesting that I don't know why anyone in the opposition will, deliberately want to, cancel our elections. I don't think that's a prospect. And I think that the presidency has responded and said that, there's no such plan and there's no such, possibility. They will do whatever is humanly possible to ensure that we create an enabling environment for the elections to take place and take place creditably next month.
Very good, Mr. Morka. You alluded to shared concerns, and I'm going to have to bring up the issues about the budget, the 2023 budget, which was recently passed, and pundits have argued on that, about the feasibility and on viability, and probably not meeting the earnings and aspirations of the general public. And of course, the conclusion here is that the incoming administration will have its work cut out for itself. There's been, a lot of failings in that aspect when it comes to budget implementation, as it were, for the past 8 years. And now the outgoing government, and this is what we have to live with. So what are your thoughts on that, and how is this impacting on the chances of APC towards the elections?
Well, I don't think there's anything untoward about the budget that was just presented. Budget deficits are a normal, even though undesirable, element of budgeting for not just for the country, for any institution. Arise Television, Arise News, for example, I'm sure you also deal with issues of budget concerns and how to balance your budget and ensure that you are ahead. That is normal, and I think that's a responsibility that both the present government and the incoming government will have to deal with. The World Bank, IMF, all of the international monetary agencies have been warning of some impending, if you will, stress on the global economy. This is not peculiar to Nigeria, but I think that ultimately, what is clear here is that this government has taken a lot of steps, not just to improve our earnings, foreign exchange earnings, by increasing oil output, that I think we've recorded, some really good improvement in the output of crude oil. Again, pushing back on all of the acts of sabotage we were witnessing. But also, you also saw the quite, enormous percentage of non-oil, components of our exports. Look, no country of the world has its picture perfect. Yes, within the context that we find ourselves, I think that the budget has been presented. Whatever this government is unable to, accomplish during the remainder of this tenure, which is why we are, I think, very enthusiastically urging Nigerians to vote, our governor, the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as president in next month's election, because this is somebody who has a lot of experience. He again took Lagos State from ground zero to to the hero status as one of the leading economies in Africa, probably the 5th largest economy in Africa. So this is somebody who has done it on a state level, who has capacity and the competence to do it on a national scale. Now, you can't say that for any of the contenders for this office. So we are hoping that Nigerians will hear this message loud and clear and come out en masse next month to support our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, so that we can all, I think, witness the radical transformation that he's going to build on the foundation which has been laid by this current president, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Well, I guess we have to wait and see how this message is resonating with voters. Felix Morka, APC National Publicity Secretary, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.